All right, we're live.
USA, USA,
USA. USA.
USA, USA. Welcome into episode 6 of Bout That Action Podcast. And Tiff, what's going on?
About that action, boss. Not much, dude. Watching some Olympic sports, watching chaos unfold in the political world.
Yeah, and they're kind of
Uh,
intertwined a little bit.
yeah, they're getting a little intertwined there.
Mm.
Chilling, getting drunk, buying new golf clubs,
Oh
living
yeah,
life. What are
yeah.
you doing,
We
dude?
uh, we had a big 2 weeks in sports since we've last been on and recorded. Football season started unofficially, but officially with the Hall of Fame game, which nobody watches, but it does mark the beginning of football
I did.
time.
I
Which
did watch it.
did you?
I was
You
so
needed your
happy to
fix.
have football back. I watched it.
You needed your fix. So let's
That's
jump
what
right
life's all
into it.
about, brother.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. I got a drink. Show the viewers on TikTok.
What do you got?
I I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, but it's Toshin. Toshin.
Dude, good luck with that.
Scotch whiskey. It's actually very good.
Nice, dude. Sipping on some whiskey. I'm gonna reach into my estrogen pouch here, and I'm drinking a fruit punch. Truly, dude. Honestly, these things, like, I don't care if it's a bitch drink. These things are so fucking good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're
No,
so
all
good.
the Trulies or like any of the seltzers, to tell you the truth, are good.
They're really
Honestly,
good.
I'll sound like a bitch, but I prefer drinking those. Like if I'm gonna drink a lot of something,
Yeah.
because they actually keep you hydrated.
Friday night drinks. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, I'm gonna jump right into the action. Every week or every 2 weeks until football season starts, you can find us. We'll be talking about sports. We'll might play some games. We might have some sketchy financial advice that you probably should take.
Oh boy.
And yeah, we'll generally talk shit. So tune in every week. Let's go. So I wanted to jump right on the Olympics. This is first Olympics that we had since 2021, which actually our former podcast we touched on the Olympics a lot. So it's kind of cool to kind of come full circle a little bit.
It's been 4 years.
Uh,
That's crazy.
yeah. So the USA leads in the medal count right now. I think we're officially at the halfway point of the Olympics, with 43. France is behind with 36, China 31. China leads in gold medals, and I think the U.S. has 9. China has 13, and then France and Australia are in the middle.
Dang, that's crazy.
Uh,
Last I checked, we were only down by two.
yeah.
So
Well,
they got two
the,
more.
the
Oh
beginning
no,
of
we're in fourth in gold medals now.
oh wow,
Damn.
yeah. They it always starts like this because it's kind of like the kind of gimmicky sports to begin with. So you have like the fencing and the shooting and like all this weird stuff, and at the end, it's always like soccer,
This
basketball,
the big
you
sports.
know,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
big
So we have a
sports,
lot to catch
tennis.
up on.
Yeah. So
I do not have gray eyes. I have blue eyes.
what's your take on the first week of the Olympics?
Dude, it was good. I mean, obviously, men's basketball got a couple wins there. One thing I didn't even realize. Well, I guess I'll wait to get into basketball. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm.
But there's a lot of controversy over the opening ceremony. I didn't think it
Oh
was
yeah.
that big of a deal. It was a little weird looking back on it after you start to
Mm.
see people like post all this shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a little weird, a little awkward. Not really focused on sports, but like at the same time, it's like whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was kind of dope because the opening ceremony had that metal band that played. So I did like that because that was a change of pace.
Sorry, say that again.
They had that metal band that played the opening,
Oh, I didn't
which
see
was
that.
cool. It was pretty sick. Um,
That's awesome.
and yeah, they had the Last Supper that they kind of made fun of, which I think is they had a couple of like anti-religious things, which whatever, you can do what you want, but they also outlaw religious like gestures while you're in the Olympics. Like I think there's like surfers that I think there's surfers. Somebody like had
A million.
like um like a Jesus emblem on their board or something, and they made him take it off.
Oh, that's crazy.
Um,
See, I
yeah,
didn't know it was that like weird.
yeah.
I thought it was one of those things where a lot of people are over exaggerating. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Where like they're making something of nothing and just like reading into it more than it really was. But maybe there is something about it then if it's
yeah,
that weird. Who knows?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
think my highlight so far from the Olympics has been the gun shooting. I
oh, I'm
think
getting
two.
hella likes.
And I think there's two things about the gun shooting. One, this Turkish shooter that took, and I don't know anything about the shooting events and what they are, if there's different guns or what they do, but the Turkish shooter that took the silver medal,
Is an absolute
uh,
G.
yeah, I mean, if you there's two videos. One is this chick I think from Korea or North Korea, South Korea that does it, and she just kind of looks like a G and a badass. She's got these glasses on. She's got like all the gear. She's looking, she just has a ton of shit that she's putting in before she shoots.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's this Turkish motherfucker.
And he just fucking stole the show, man.
Yeah, just
All right, I'm gonna pull up the video here.
And it's there. It's there. The world record has gone.
Steps up, hand in his pocket. No special glasses, no nothing.
Right. Oh, what is this bitch wearing? Some like crazy RoboCop eyewear?
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of a badass too.
Dude, she's kind of terrifying.
Like she's just kind of grooving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
And
like a
then
straight up like assassin right there. Oh, and
Yeah.
she got the little like elephant.
Yeah, flips it up.
Dude, just super chilling.
Yeah.
Oh, it was her daughter's elephant. That's kind of cool.
Like, what are they shooting?
Like,
what is that gun? Look at the hand.
Yeah, it looks like they're all kind of shooting the same pistol.
Yeah.
It's not a Glock, I'll tell you that.
Well, she won the silver too.
Boy, I just
But
got
then-
a gift, dude. I got a lightning bolt. What?
But then let's turn it on to my boy. I
My
don't even know
boy.
his name. I don't even know his name, dude.
Okay, did you post the video? I'm not seeing it here.
Yeah, it says Turkish shooter.
I have
Just
not.
click the Turkish. Yeah, go right here.
I got you. Okay. This guy is crazy, dude. Like, I've never seen someone compete in the Olympics more casually than this guy. Justin
look
Riley,
at him.
happy 7th birthday.
Look at him. He's got gray hair, glasses, kind of got a pudgy beer belly.
Oh, yeah, just not an athlete at all, has never trained.
Mm-mm.
He's just like straight up like an assassin from Turkey, and they just are like, hey, we want a gold medal, go out there.
I shoot gun.
Yeah. He actually, what's funny is he just looks like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look at him.
absolutely
Look.
like laser pinpoint accuracy.
Look what those idiots have on too. They have like these weird crosshairs and everything like that.
Yeah, these
Super
guys have all this
classy.
like technology. They're all like super good like form and like, everything's like dialed in. This dude just like walks up. He's like whatever, hand in his pocket.
Flap, flap.
Yeah, he looks like the father of three, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was an interesting event.
That was really interesting. He did amazing. He got silver, right?
Yeah, I think he got silver. First ever medal in Olympic shooting.
Dang, that's crazy. Good for him.
So jumping into USA basketball, I think the US team is playing well so far. It's really weird when you watch Olympic basketball and you watch the US play because they're so much better than everybody else.
But they don't win by like as much as you would think they would.
No, and it's weird because the defense. I mean, every team they play plays a little harder, but it's like the U.S. is okay with just taking threes the whole time.
Yeah,
Like you don't
exactly.
see anybody drive into the hoop or, trying to break down the defense and dish. It's just like 2 passes, shot, and they're so good that they get open shots and they'll knock them down. But that's why teams stay in the game, because if they go through a cold streak, you know, it's like, okay, well, this team's going to come back. And
Yeah,
I think,
exactly. It allows teams to stay in the game that have no business staying in the game.
yeah.
And
And
so
and,
one thing I
and
thought
they're
was interesting about the men's basketball is the 31st, that was 2 days ago, we beat South Sudan 103 to 86. But during the showcase games, we played them so only 9 days or 10 days earlier, July 20th, and we only beat them by 1 point.
yep.
And it's probably because of that exact same thing you're just talking about. They kind of dick around and they start to go through a cold streak on the 3-point shooting,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden those teams start to catch up.
Well, South Sudan, I watched this game. I actually turned it on when I was at work. South Sudan is good. Make no joke. I don't know if you remember this dude, and I'm not gonna like say too much, but there was a dude that I used to post that played basketball at Kentucky, and he's a very
Like a young dude.
yeah, he was his complexion was very notable. He plays for South Sudan, and they actually have a couple players that play on him that are like NBA role players.
Oh, okay.
They're coached by Royal Ivy, which is a former NBA player, and dude, they're good. But they got it within 9 points with about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
And it looked like
Is Carlik Jones one of those guys?
no.
Because he was
Uh,
standing out to me in the stats. I was looking at the stat sheet between the two teams on both games. This Carlik Jones guy, I was like, damn, he's putting up some numbers, and he had like 10 rebounds or something.
No, Wayne Gabriel, and then Omot was huge. Omot was just knocking
Oh,
down
Omot.
threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dang is the coming off the bench. Dang is the son of Luau Dang,
Oh, okay.
who's a former NBA player. Yeah, South Sudan game. I mean, it's crazy how good the U.S. is.
It's
LeBron
just
came to play.
unfair.
Yeah, LeBron came to play, and he's just bullying people, running through people like crazy. He wants a medal. Um,
You know who's been disappointing, though, is Steph Curry.
I don't think. I mean, maybe
I just
it's
expected a little bit more out of him.
maybe against South Sudan. I mean, against South Sudan, he only scored 3 points.
Yeah,
Against Serbia,
he was 1 for 9, dude.
yeah, against Serbia, scored 11, and he hit that last three.
Yeah.
I think he's just deferring. I think he's just deferring for everything. KD has played really well.
Yeah,
that
KD.
he's been a big kick.
Bam, dude.
Uh,
Bam.
yeah, he's the difference
He's
maker.
killing it right now.
Yeah, he's been the guy that's going up and down the floor, playing great defense, getting dunks, getting lobs. Honestly, Anthony Davis has played okay.
He did.
Um,
He had that one good game.
yeah, I mean, he even played good. Devin Booker off. If he starts, if he comes off the bench, he's a solid player for the U.S. team.
Yeah, he's always going to
They're
be good. And then you have,
and then
what's his face? That young kid. Jordan 2.0. Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Well, the glue guys are Derek White and Drew Holiday too. They come in and it's like they actually play fundamental basketball when they come in. So it's like
Yeah, exactly.
their fundamental basketball is better than anybody else's. And you're going to get their best effort. There's actually two big storylines that came out, the first game and the second game. The first game, Steve Kerr did not play Jason Tatum at all.
Which is crazy, considering they just won the championship.
Yeah, we've talked about Jason Tatum on this, about how everybody's giving him shit about copy and like celebration routines, and he's just kind of getting beat up. And then he didn't get played in game one. And then game two, he came out, hit the side of the backboard on his first shot, and just played like dog shit.
Yeah.
So that's a big story. And then Joel Embiid didn't play the second game against South Sudan at all. No minutes.
Yeah, and a lot of people are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know. Maybe he was nursing an injury and they don't really want to talk about it. Who knows? You know what the truth is, because I know there's a lot of politics that go into it in the background as well. But I don't think they would just straight up bench Joel Embiid. So I think there's more to
No.
it. Yeah.
They said he didn't fit in the game plan.
Yeah. See, that just sounds like an excuse to me.
Yeah, they said it was. They just said that they were too big and fast, and they didn't have a bunch of big guys, so he was too slow basically to keep up. Which
Americans do use the metric system. They bring a 9mm to school every day. Wow. Wow.
That's a good one. Yeah, so next game is against Puerto Rico, and I don't know when that is. I think it's tomorrow, honestly.
It's on the 3rd. That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they should absolutely dominate that game.
Yeah, they should kill Puerto Rico. I think Puerto Rico's 0-2. So, yeah, I think it'll be a massacre, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's gonna be. They're gonna toy with them. Like honestly, there's certain countries that are like obscure that actually have decent players. I don't know anyone from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling it's gonna be a rough day for them.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So moving on to some other notable sports, women's rugby.
Dude, women's rugby, let's go.
Women's rugby was kind of dope. The U.S. has this just beefcake of a lady that plays who I can't remember her name, but she is unbelievable. It's like I think it's Alona Maher.
Okay.
She is a tank.
Yeah.
They got the bronze medal, so I mean they can't compete against like New Zealand and Australia in rugby. That's like their national sport. But they got the bronze medal, which is big, and I think from what I saw, they won on the very last play of the game.
So is that the one that everyone's posting where that
intense.
girl got like launched into the air to make the catch?
No, that is women's rugby, but I think that's a different team,
Oh, okay.
which was sick.
That was crazy. I was like, oh my God.
She, like bent backwards. Probably
Yeah, she was like upside down and shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a heck of a play. But if you look up USA women's rugby and you look up the main player, she is a tank.
Dude, just a
Like,
fucking beefcake.
No tackle her.
Yes. That's awesome.
Not a one. The other notable sports that I have is swimming. We kind of, the U.S. has always kind of dominated swimming.
Yeah.
Katie Ledecky won a couple more medals. I think the U.S.
The men's, what's it, where 4 guys go? Is it the relay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the 100 relay or whatever. They won that one. I watched that one. They got gold.
I think they set a world record, right?
Did they?
Like if it was like the 1400 meter relay or something like that. I think it was a record.
I forget which one it was.
Yeah.
I was watching all the swimming though. And you know who surprised me in the swimming was well, Australia's always like pretty good, but they were dominating. It was shit, there was like a country. Damn it, I don't remember. But they seemed like they were maybe it was like Sweden. I think Sweden was doing really well this year. Like out of nowhere, they were just like constantly in that top 4 spot. It was, it's usually China, Australia, the US are like the top 3 always.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like Britain sometimes. But I think Sweden was kind of sneaking in there, and I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. There was I think it was Ledecky on swimming. I don't remember which one, but the amount of distance that she won by was unbelievable.
Just ridiculous.
She just killed people. Yeah, just absolutely murdered people.
Right.
Women's gymnastics, U.S. dominated. Simone Biles is just the absolute GOAT.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of that.
She's like 5 feet and she can jump like 15 feet in the air. It's stupid.
That's insane. Yeah, just freak athlete. Yeah,
I just don't get it. She's literally probably under 5 feet and she could probably dunk. Probably standing still. I mean, it's just unbelievable the stuff that she does. And then the whole U.S. team actually like dominated. Even like outside of her, the rest of the U.S. gymnastics just dominated, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, so there was 2 teams that snuck in and got gold medals in the swimming that were surprises. So one was Sweden. They did get a gold, and it was in the 100-meter freestyle women's. and I thought that was kind of crazy. U.S. got second. That was Tori Husk. And then where was the other one? Oh, Hungary in the men's 200-meter backstroke got a gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of crazy. A couple weird, like, obscure countries kind of coming in hot, taking golds.
The other one is there's videos out there. I didn't post it or anything of the Chinese synchronized diving team,
Oh,
which
dude, that's
was
probably crazy.
unbelievable because it
Yeah.
like they're diving from what, like 40 feet, and there's not a difference in movement between those people. I mean,
Yeah, just
these
so
two girls
synchronized.
jump. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're like one person, which is just mind blowing.
Just flawless, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like, how do you even do that?
Well, they train their whole lives for
Yeah,
it.
basically. That's probably
I mean,
their
I
job.
think
They're
that's
forced to.
yeah. And then boxing's been a huge
Oh,
controversy.
boy.
There's been a lot of stories coming out about potentially this women's boxer that came in as a male. And to be honest, I don't even know the whole true story, but apparently there's two people that kind of are in that same category where they say it's a genetic
It's the guy from
defect.
Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a genetic defect because they have XY chromosome, and they kind of have like masculine features, but they're still born a woman.
So
Which
I'm
is
just
like,
curious where they're drawing the line in saying that these people are still born a woman or a woman.
mm,
Like, how are they coming to this conclusion? Is it because it
yeah,
was on their birth certificate? Is it because that's how they registered for stuff? You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious where they're getting this information because, like, I'm no expert, but that person definitely failed the eye test.
yeah,
Like,
oh,
if you were
big
to
time.
ask me, what is that? I would be like, that's a dude. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, to be born a woman, maybe. I mean, this is what I think, and I don't know the whole story because I saw stuff. I was convinced that this was a male
Yeah,
fighting against
absolutely.
women,
Because I saw the
and
pictures of it, and I was like, oh, that's a
yeah,
dude.
and my question was like, how could the Olympics allow this?
Right.
And then I started like seeing it a little more. I was like, oh, they said she was born a woman, and then just has a genetic defect with the XY chromosome, so that's probably why they let her in. But I
That
mean, I have
also
this,
sounds like the perfect like propaganda to make
yeah,
people like accept it. That's why I'm so skeptical of that news
yeah.
that came out
But
after the fact.
But you're right. Like, is somebody just? I mean, there's two cases of it, so that's weird. And then, is that just somebody saying that? Were they born with, lady parts and not male parts, and that's why they're considered a woman? So it's
Yeah,
just kind of
exactly.
weird.
Like at this point, there needs to be like a full like physical done, and I want more details.
But I
Like if this
also,
dude has a dick, I don't care what you say
yeah,
you were born. Like you're a dude.
yeah. I also like kind of trust in the Olympics. Like the Olympic Committee, I don't think would allow a male to compete with women. Like it has to be a special case for this to happen
Right.
because I mean the Olympics ain't playing the games that
You would hope
other sports are
so, but
playing.
I
Yeah.
I would also venture to say that there is a lot more politics involved this time than there has been in the past,
Mm,
especially with that whole like opening ceremony controversy and stuff. So, and I know we both know that over the last 4 years, there's been a much bigger push in the whole like trans movement, whether you're
mm,
for it or against it, I don't care. There's definitely been more push for it to be accepted in society. So it wouldn't
mm,
surprise me if they loosen the rules in the Olympics to kind of help push that movement.
yeah. I just
And
can't.
we'll never really know. That's the thing.
Yeah. I just can't see it. I just yeah. There's no way I could see the Olympic Committee. I mean, the Olympics have been around for so long, and they've had the best athletes compete against each other. So why? How would I mean? They get people for doing drugs. They get people for like the smallest amount. That one runner for the U.S. got caught with freaking weed and she got kicked out. So
Yeah,
it's like
they've been strict in the past.
yeah.
What's
I
up,
just don't.
James? Yes, I'm
I don't.
heterosexual.
Actually, yeah. I think everybody should know that Tiff is actually a woman.
Yeah, I'm a chick.
But
just-
yeah, it has the XY chromosome.
Don't
so.
worry about this.
Mm,
Dude, honestly, I bet I could go into that women's boxing. I would tear some people up.
yeah,
Untrained. Just
I
put
would
me in,
get my ass.
coach.
I would get my ass kicked.
Well, yeah, because you're in a bigger weight division.
Yeah, get my absolute ass kicked.
I'm in a weight division where, like, even with her skill, I don't know if she can hurt me. Because I was talking about it with Chelsea. I was like, you could punch me in the face as hard as you could, and it would probably suck. Like, it would hurt, right? But if I punched her in the face as hard as I could, she would be dead.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be in a coma. So, like, it's so unfair, the advantage that a man has over a woman when it comes to, like, that kind of
That's
strength.
why, especially in boxing, that's why I think there's, like, more to the story of what it is.
Yeah. But even if it is, like, not directly what we're saying it is, right? Like a dude that's transitioned and is just beating the shit out of women. Like, that's like the most extreme version of it. Let's say there really is some sort of genetic defect, but this person has an XY chromosome, and now their body, like I was saying earlier in our chat, their body's producing more testosterone. They have more bone density. They have more lean muscle mass. Like, all the things that men have as an advantage over women physically. Should it still be allowed?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they don't have male body parts? Like, that's where it gets into, like, a super gray area. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that it popped up twice in boxing, of all things.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Combat sport.
Well,
like,
not only did it pop up, but, like, in both instances, the subject matter beat the shit out of the actual women. They wrecked them, dude.
Well, they also showed that one person that was, like, the big news story. They showed them losing in the last Olympics, I think, to another girl, like an Irish girl. They just beat the shit out of her.
Well, it's because she was Irish. You don't fight an Irish girl.
I don't know.
Even if you're a full dude.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Dude, you don't fuck with the fighting Irish.
No.
It's just basically Conor McGregor with tits.
Yeah, they'll just beat your ass, lift you up, and pour a fucking Guinness down your gullet.
My apologies. It brings me profound sadness. It's possibility. Dude, I love the Goonies. The Goonies is a classic.
Some sad news. USA men's soccer still sucks. Real bad. They lost to Morocco 4-0.
Yeah.
They're in shambles. We've said it before. Get LeBron out there playing goalie.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Like, we've said it a million times. We run a sports podcast, so every once in a while the discussion of soccer comes up. And it's no secret that the best athletes in the U.S., soccer is probably the last on their list for sports that they play. Like, when you're growing up in school, the most popular sports are football and basketball, and it's, like, not even close. After that, you kind of have, like, baseball, tennis. Like, I feel like there's, like, 10 sports in front of soccer before the best athletes start playing in the U.S.
Yep.
And so, like, that's just the way it is. Like, if it's not a popular national sport, you're never going to have the best athletes representing you. And it's just, you're never going to, on the international stage, you're not going to be able to compete.
Yeah, they didn't qualify for the World Cup, I don't think. They didn't win the Copa America or even come close, and now they get kicked out in the group stage of the Olympics. The USA soccer is a mess.
And didn't they lose to someone that's, like, not even that great?
Morocco.
Yeah,
they lost
Morocco.
To freaking Morocco.
Like, come on, dude.
And they have one of the best players in the world in Pulisic. They were playing good, and then their coach kind of went down the drain, and they fired him and trying to find a new coach. It's just bad. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, even if they have one of the best players, I think soccer is one of those games. It's very much a team sport, right? You have to be able to help set up your best players. You have to have good goaltending. You have to have good defense. Like, there's so many factors that come into it. It's such a big field. So one guy's not going to be able to carry a team, especially when you're going against these countries where that's, like, their primary sport.
Yeah. And better news, Snoop Dogg has been the pretty much mascot of the U.S. throughout the Olympics. He's been in the
Which
stands.
Is so funny.
He's been in the stands. He's been, doing swim with Michael Phelps. He's been, he's just been all over. I think he did fencing.
Yeah.
He's just been all over the place. I think the last Olympics he did that talk show with the recap, which was absolutely hilarious. He did
Oh,
it with
so
Kevin
funny.
Hart. That
Because
shit
he's
was
so
hilarious.
clueless what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, he's actually doing he's doing like commentary now, and he's like super like he's like researched. He knows what he's
Oh,
talking
he's getting
about.
better. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job. But it's funny to see Snoop Dogg as like our USA mascot going to every single big event.
I
Um,
made a joke about it the other day when he was the torchbearer. I was
mm,
like, I think he thought this was something different when they asked him to carry the
yeah,
torch.
yeah. Yeah, even the gymnastics, I think they were doing like the team gymnastics event or something, and he's up in the stands dancing and getting all the U.S. gymnasts group to dance with him.
I mean, he is
Um,
a vibe, dude. He's
he
got good
is,
energy. He's a
he
funny
is.
dude. I think everyone in the world likes him. Like
Mm,
he's just he's fun.
yeah. So we will have more Olympic once we get to our topic of golf. We kind of sectioned out our golf topic as one because playing more golf. So we'll talk about more Olympics once we get to golf. Uh, but I was gonna move on to the preseason football Hall of Fame game that's held in my home state of Ohio,
Oh
Canton,
wait,
Ohio.
oh wait.
What'd you think of the Hall of Fame game? I'll preface this: I did not watch.
I watched it. I didn't watch all of it. Like most preseason games, you watch it till it gets really boring. Um, it was good though. It was fun to see football back. It was fun to see world class players out there competing. One person who stood out to me was Davis Mills. I
Hmm.
know he's never going to be the starter on that team, but he looked really good. He was throwing some dimes. There was a couple times he escaped pressure, made a guy absolutely just fall on his face trying to tackle him, juked the hell out of him, made him fall on his face. So Davis Mills, I was like, okay, they got a little backup there, which is good for that team because I feel like that team's going to be a really big competitor, and it'd be horrible if CJ got hurt. But yeah, uh, Davis Mills, man, he looked pretty good
He's also been a starter, right? He was a starter
for like 2 years.
for
Yeah,
Texans like for our entire year, so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
got he's kind of game ready already. They played Cam Akers a lot, which Cam Akers on the Texans. Cam Akers was a dynamite running back for the Rams.
Yeah,
Then he
he
went
looked good
to
too.
the Vikings. He got a bunch of carries, which means he's trying to earn a roster spot. They got Joe Mixon over there, Cam Akers. I mean,
Yeah, they're loading up, dude. That team is scary. And this was like their B team, right? Like they didn't even have Stephon
yeah,
Diggs out there. They didn't have Tank Dell out there. They didn't have any of their starters.
yep.
It was just their backups, and they still looked pretty sharp. So that team is pretty gross. They have a lot of depth, which is what you need, especially when you're looking to go into the postseason.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
for the Bears, it was not the same story.
mhm.
They did not play their starters either, but they did not look good. Their depth is nowhere near what the Texans are. So I
They did
wasn't
win
that
the game.
impressed.
They
Yeah,
did win the
but
game.
but I feel like in a preseason, it's not really. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
the result of the full game doesn't really matter as much as the performance of the players that matter. You know that if
mhm.
that makes any sense.
Former 49er Dante Pettis got a catch,
He's trash.
uh, as well as former Brown Demetric Felton got two catches, a couple carries as well.
Weak dog.
Which thank God they're not on those respective teams anymore. There was some Hall of Fame inductees, there's a lot of notable names here. These are all players that were through our childhood just absolute beasts in the game. Uh, Starting with Dwight Freeney, who was an absolute menace edge rusher for the Colts
Dwikes.
for years, who pretty much patented that spin move coming off the edge. Just sacking Tom Brady relentlessly. I remember back in the day.
Right.
There's also Devin Hester, who's probably the most electric returner in all of the NFL that I can remember. Him and Dante Hall were just absolutely unreal. We also had Andre Johnson, who was just a menace of a receiver.
He was a beast, dude. He was
Yeah.
he was really elite when I first got into fantasy football, and I loved having him on my fantasy teams. He was just an absolute monster.
Yeah, he was a big receiver, kind of that Anquan Bolden style, bullied people off the line, and could still be athletic to make catches.
Yeah, exactly. Just a fucking
Yeah, unfortunately, he just played for bad teams for years.
yeah. I mean, speaking of the Texans, he was on the Texans for a long time.
Julius Peppers, who was another edge rusher that was with the Panthers forever, and then he started jumping teams. Always made an impact. That dude was just an
I feel like he had a small stint on the Niners.
Yeah, he played for like everybody.
Yeah.
He actually played basketball in college. He went to North Carolina and he played basketball in college back in the day. I mean, the dude was just an athletic freak.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And then
the one true GOAT, the best player on the list.
The hometown, Patrick Willis.
Yes. And Patrick Willis, I mean, you could probably argue he's a top 5 linebacker of all time. That dude would absolutely fold people in half. He was the most entertaining linebacker, and it wasn't just that he hit hard. He was always in the right spot. He was very smart. He was a very analytical player. So fun to watch. And the Niners somehow always find a way to just like find these steals of linebackers forever. Like we always have elite linebackers somehow, and half the time we're drafting them in the 3rd through 5th round.
Him and Navarro Bowman were just electric.
Dude, lethal. Absolutely lethal.
It would. I mean, I just remember those games that they had with the Seahawks through the years. That when the rivalry was really big and Seahawks were really good defense. I mean, those were the nastiest hitting games I've still witnessed to this. I mean, they were just unbelievable.
And Deontay Whitner.
Yeah, Dante Whitner.
The three of those guys together
just
laying absolute just bone-crushing hits, dude.
And he would come up, him and Navarro Bowman would come up from the linebacker spot with a handoff.
Mm-hmm.
And come 5 yards and hit you in the mouth, and you could hear it in the top.
Dude! I feel like you would hear the helmet shattering. Yeah. It was just a pop, and you're just dude.
I think the most electric. I think that was that Patrick Willis or Navarro Bowman when he. I think it was like a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, and he had that pick towards the end of the season at Candlestick, one of the last games at Candlestick, and took it back for a touchdown.
That was Navarro Bowman.
Yeah, that was
huge. That was an insane game. And then the year after that is the year he folded his knee in half.
Yeah.
In the same, I think it was the conference championship game against Seattle.
Yeah, it's tough.
But yeah, those two guys together, man, that was the OG 49ers. That was so fun to watch. But honestly, Fred Warner.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't take a big step back, so we're still doing just fine. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, he needs to stay healthy, but those freaking Niners linebackers, absolute legends.
This is one of the, I mean, I guess it's just because like players that we watched growing up are starting to get elected in the Hall of Fames, but this is like one of the cooler, like big name Hall of Fames that we've seen in a while.
I agree. Yeah.
Usually 100%. It's like 1 or 2 players that get in. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then some weird ones. Like, these are all big name players from our kind of age.
Right. I think a few years ago they had T.O., which was big for me. I love T.O. He was my favorite receiver of all time. But, yeah, it's usually every year it's just like a bunch of nobodies that you're just like, really? Like, okay, you were good, but, like, you're not that exciting.
Even that year it was like T.O. and who?
Yeah, right. Exactly. It was like, and that was it.
Yeah. In other NFL news, a couple QBs got paid.
Big time.
The biggest one is
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, who's basically played like 8 full games and just got basically paid as the highest paid quarterback, tied with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow in the league. $55 million a year. And then also Tua got paid.
Which is even worse, actually.
Yeah, that's the bad one. Jordan Love, I could see the potential. I mean, it's tough because he hasn't played many games. Tua has played way too much to make that much money.
Yeah. So here's my take. Tua's had serious injuries. And I'm talking like career-ending injuries. I don't understand how a team would lock down that guy for 4 years at that rate. Like that, they've lost their minds. For me, if I was a GM and you wanted to pay Tua, it's going to be mostly incentive-based. Not a lot of guaranteed money. Because there's no guarantee that that guy's going to be on the field for more than 5 games.
Yeah.
So I think they fucked up big time by giving him so much money and most of it guaranteed. I think like 180 million of it was guaranteed, and it was a $212 million contract for 4 years. That's just ridiculous, dude. That guy is just he's a glass ball waiting to shatter. But like you said with Jordan Love, I totally see it. I think he's hella good. The team isn't great. I think the Green Bay Packers are like, they're kind of that bubble team. They're a playoff team, but like you don't expect them to go far in the playoffs. They have a lot of work to do in building that team up a little bit, I think, in my opinion. Like they don't really have any wide receivers. They have Christian Watkins, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a deal just because who else are you going to pay on that team? Like you have to fill your salary cap somehow. But the 201, that one is just insane to me.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to look at the amount that quarterbacks get paid because it's like the difference from the top to the bottom ain't that big. You know, I guess $1 million is a lot, $15 million is a lot too. But you know, the top quarterback Joe Burrow gets $55 million. The bottom on the list that I'm looking at is Matt Stafford at $40 million, tied for 14th.
How crazy is it also to think that Brock Purdy was in the Super Bowl and he's getting paid like $890,000?
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, the Deshaun, I remember when, you know, we signed Deshaun and everybody's like, why are you giving him that much money? And like, it's like, oh, that money wasn't that much now.
Yeah, looking at it now, that's an absolute steal. He's only making like 25, right?
He's making 46, but
oh, he is. Oh, that's a lot, but still, that's a discount compared to what you are seeing nowadays.
10.
Yeah,
that's 10th in the league right now.
That's crazy.
Jared Goff is 5th on, so it's Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, all making $55 million. Tua making $53. Jared Goff making $53. Justin Herbert $52. Lamar Jackson $52. Jalen Hurts $51. Kyler Murray $46. Deshaun $46. Patrick Mahomes $45 with Kirk Cousins. Josh Allen $43, and then Dak, Daniel Jones, and Matthew Stafford at $40 million.
And here's my issue with that whole thing that you just rattled off. How the fuck are any of those quarterbacks making more money than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen?
Yeah. Well, Patrick Mahomes was making more, but he took a discount. He dialed it.
It's just insane.
He dialed it back.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous to me that those guys think that they deserve more money than the two clear best quarterbacks in the league.
Why not take it? I mean, I get it. I really get the whole notion of, hey, like Patrick Mahomes, hey, I'm going to take less money to try to help the team too. But if you're a quarterback on like a semi-losing team, why not take every dollar that you can get?
Yeah, that's true. Like if you know for a fact your team has no chance of at least being a contender anytime soon, then yeah, fuck it, take the money, right?
Like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, I don't know. That team could turn around really fast. Got that new coach, dog, straight out of Michigan. You're gonna see that team turn around in like 2 weeks.
He's a fucking pussy.
But like a guy like Tua, however, is on a very good team, and I would say he's probably one of the weaker links on that team. So I think it's crazy and irresponsible for him to take that contract.
Yeah, that's
he's the type of guy that should be like, I don't deserve this money. These guys are the ones that are making our team good. Give me $45 million and get me a better offensive line or get me some more receivers. Like that's what he should have done in that situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's crazy.
A lot of money for quarterbacks, and then running backs get dog shit, which is just
it's embarrassing.
That's wild.
Because they take the most abuse.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of training camp news. It's not necessarily news, but you just see highlights of things going on. The Browns side of the table, Deshaun's look good. The defense look good. No real big news coming out. Our backup running back, Deontay Foreman,
Died.
looks like he died. Yeah. Basically dead on the field. He did go to the hospital and they said he's fine. But
It's
when
like
they
a neck
reported,
injury, right?
yeah, when they reported it, they were like, "Hey, he wasn't moving on the field. He wasn't moving when they took him off. He wasn't moving when they put him in the ambulance." It's like, "Oh my God, this guy just died."
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of is that who was that linebacker on the Steelers that had that neck
Oh,
injury?
Shazier. Yeah,
Shazier.
Ryan Shazier.
It reminded me
Yeah.
a lot of that. I was like, ooh, that's kind of scary. So hopefully this dude's able to like walk and function again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did say Nick Chubb's going to come back. He's not going to come back at the beginning of the season, but maybe week 3 or 4.
That's what I was hearing week 3. Yeah.
I mean, we have a running back that, Jerome Ford played the
He's
rest of the year,
solid.
and he's a great running back. So
Yeah.
I'm not
He's
worried about it.
A great second. Didn't you guys
Yeah.
draft another running back this year too?
Yeah,
Who was that guy?
I don't know who they drafted.
He's I've been hearing that he's supposed to be pretty good,
Deontay Foreman was a big pickup in the offseason.
but now he's dead.
They also picked up Naheem Hines. Oh, they didn't.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
they
good.
drafted. They drafted a rookie from BYU, and then they have John Kelly Jr. right there too. So they have some serious depth at running back.
Yeah, I remember. So during the draft, when they drafted the running back that they picked, a couple articles came out and they said not looking good on the Nick Chubb front because basically they were saying they're making this pick to replace him because that's how good this rookie is that they're picking.
Well, he's 6'2", 37, so he's a big boy.
Yeah, so I mean, let's say Nick Chubb comes back. That's just more depth that the team has, which is awesome.
Mm.
Which they obviously need now because Deontay Foreman's probably not going to play this year. But
So,
yeah, the Browns, dude, stacking up.
What news do you have on the 49ers side?
49ers, not a lot of news. We have actually bad news only. Trent Williams is now holding out. It wasn't only Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so he wants that big money. I think they said they're waiting to see what Tristan Wirfs gets paid because I think they're saying he's about to get a big extension. So based on whatever he gets, I think they're going to make Trent Williams the most or the highest paid lineman in the league, which he probably deserves to be. But I wouldn't give him more than a 2-year deal. The dude's like 38. Mm-hmm. So, like, at some point your age is going to catch up with you. So, yeah, Trent Williams is holding out. Brandon Ayuk is still holding out, but the last few practices he's been seen, like, dancing around, shaking hands with Kyle Shanahan, talking to John Lynch. So it seems like the mood is good. It sounds like a deal is getting close to being signed. Like I've said since the beginning, this is just the basic way the Niners do business. They're going to wait to the last second. They're going to drag everything along. Everyone's going to come up with all these rumors that they're going to get traded and all this shit, and then all of a sudden he's going to sign a deal. So I think that's what's happening with BA.
Yeah.
And then,
what do you ultimately think is going to happen with Ayuk?
Yeah, so I think he's going to sign. I think it's going to be somewhere in the high 20s, like 28 and a half maybe. It's a little bit of overpayment, but whatever. We're a Super Bowl team. We gotta compete. We can't afford to lose a guy like that and try to replace him. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, actually, that brings up my next point, which is Ricky Pearsall, who was the top pick for the 49ers in the last draft. Has not done much in training camp at all. He's caught like 2 passes the entire training camp. He missed like the first couple practices with a hamstring injury. And then since he's been back, he's just kind of like not doing much. He hasn't competed in one-on-ones on 11s. He's being matched up with like our 3rd, 4th string cornerbacks. So I'm a little skeptical about him. A lot of people said he was supposed to be like this crazy fucking prodigy coming in, but
they were showing his releases, and he could not get separation.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever seen the Drewski video where he's got a construction outfit on and they're taking a break and he's like trying to run routes? So like, oh, Drewski gets more separation than Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned about him.
Yeah.
Might have been a bad pick. So it is what it is. If we get Brandon Ayuk back, it's not a big deal. We can afford to miss on one pick.
So I have my first fantasy football draft coming up on August 23rd, 24th. So coming up fast.
Dude, hold on, I set the date for ours. I gotta check it. Let's look that up right now. Because as you know, I won last year, and I'm probably gonna win this year.
Went on a little bit of a cold streak. I didn't win anything last year.
Really?
I did win.
Straight up lost all of them?
Yeah, and I should have won the other league. I think I finished third or second in one of the leagues, and then
I was gonna say if you lost, you probably got second or third.
I did come in like third in like the playoff fantasy too, so I won some money last year.
All right, so for my league, our league, August 25th, Sunday.
Oh shit! Back to back.
Yeah, it's the big one.
Back to back. Okay.
I haven't locked that date in, yet, but I'm gonna try to get all the guys to be available for that.
We'll live stream it.
Oh yeah, I've already done my research, dude. You guys are done.
And stay tuned. We'll jump through a couple things, then have our fantasy rankings for top 10 quarterbacks coming into the season. First, we got to jump into golf real quick.
Let's go.
Considering we are now golfers. First of all, I kind of put a mention of it on Olympic golf results earlier. This is the last Olympic sport that we're going to talk about. Xander Schauffele is actually in the lead right now with Tommy Fleetwood and Hideki Matsuyama in Olympic golf. I think this is the first year Olympic golf. Maybe there's been 2020 it added. But yeah, it's been Olympic golf's been fun. John Rahm's in fourth at 9 under. Just cool seeing all the big name players playing for their country.
Yeah. Scotty Scheffler. He's in. I don't know.
Yeah, he's 6 under.
He's
I
down
think.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not bad though.
I mean,
yeah, there's still a lot left, so he could actually.
Still 2 rounds to go.
Right.
So Tith and I actually got a chance to go to Paris and play the course they're playing. Although we didn't go to Paris, we played it on a simulator. What did you think of the course? We played the back 9. We played 10 through 18.
It was really cool. So it looked like a course that would be amazing, obviously, to play in real life. There was those 2 holes that were insanely challenging.
Yeah.
Those water holes that were just like, dude, you have to hit like an absolute bomb to get on the green, and if you miss it short at all, you're in the water.
Yeah.
So there's a couple tough ones, but it looked like a really cool course. I'm gonna bring up a video of you just hitting a bomb right now.
Yeah, I think 15 was the worst. 15 was the worst hole of all time, where you hit your drive over the water, and then you had to go
and
into
it hit
a
that
green.
little wall. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, so straight.
Yeah, you
Holy
smoked
crap,
that one right
that
over
might
the
be
lake.
It went right at the end.
There's a lot of water on the course, and just pinpoint placement of your drives and everything else makes it just a very tough course. I could see people blowing up a lot on, some of the holes weren't bad, but the fairways are tiny, and when you have water stretching all on the right side and left side, and then you have island greens in between, makes it a little tough. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
Actually, wow.
And on the simulator that we were playing, we noticed that the balls tend to slice on you. They like to go right.
Yeah.
So we had to get used to that a little bit.
Here's a tip drive, just absolutely blasted with water on the left side.
Yeah, I purposely stayed right on that one.
Yeah, you don't have a big landing zone. I mean, that's the big thing that that we noticed while playing is the fairways are small, and that's how good these guys are at golf. Is they can blast it 300 yards. Oh, here's our scores.
Which is just insane. That's just ridiculous.
And then final scores came up. That I will say, I'll put a little excuse out there. There's no drops. You had to re-tee everything. So if you hit a drive out of bounds, you had to re-tee it and play 3 from there. So, it's tougher.
I kind of struggled here on the last 3.
Yeah, I shot a 40. I started off pretty good. I had a couple blow up holes in the middle where I hit it in the water like 3 straight times. But I shot a 49, which not mad about, not happy about, but not mad about. And Tith, what happened?
What you talking about, dog? Crushed it with a 74.
Um,
Just
70.
absolute legend over here. No, I don't know what happened. I started out good. I think the first 4 holes we played were a little bit easier. I think you had a little bit more room for error on those ones. And once we got to these crazy water holes, I think everything just kind of went downhill for there.
I will say, if anybody's ever played on a simulator, it is not easy.
No.
It's not easy to get used to. You're kind of standing on top of this little platform while you hit, and it's weird. You feel like you're gonna hit your club on the ceiling, maybe on the wall. I played the simulator with Lazook, and we
Which
played
that just
Royal
sounds like a
Troon,
blast.
and Lazook shot a 51. I think I shot a 54.
Wow.
So that if that tells you anything,
Yeah, because in
it
real
is.
life that would never happen on 9.
It is hard. It is tough, but it's also very fun. I wish I had a simulator in my garage to tell you the truth, because that's super fun.
It is. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't even be that hard to set up either, which would be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in due time, I guess.
Yeah.
Got to get that crypto money first.
So that's talking golf. I did golf today. Played a little course over here, which is kind of tough. And the last time we were here, I told you about how good of a round I played, and I shot 82. Today I shot 95. So 13 stroke difference. Did not play well. But
Week.
taking some stuff with me, I guess.
Dude, learning from it. There you go.
I did want to give a shout out. We don't touch on baseball very much. There's actually 2 things on baseball. One, the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Cleveland Indians, have the best record in baseball.
Do they really right now?
Yeah, they've been beating up
Damn.
on the good teams. They just won a series against the Phillies, and they just won a series against the Orioles, which are the 2 top teams behind them.
Wow.
So they are rolling. Their offense finally picked up. They were going through a little slump. Their offense finally picked up. I mean, they just do everything well: base running, fielding. They did have their struggles a little bit, but they kind of got out of it. Pitching, bullpen, complete package. World Series this year? Who knows? Maybe Cleveland get out of their slump a little bit,
Never
but
know, man. You never know.
they're rolling. They're rolling, and then second thing is the Giants pitcher Snell pitched a no-hitter tonight.
Did he? Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is I think the 3rd no-hitter of 2024, which is a lot.
Dude, somehow the Giants always have good pitchers.
Yeah.
They're like the Niners with linebackers.
Mm.
It's like the one position they always have good is their pitchers.
They'll bring them up, and then they'll either go to a different team, or they'll just be a hog for the Giants forever. Or
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Matt Cain have injury issues.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
There's actually more baseball news. I don't know if you heard this, but Mike Trout is out for the season.
Again.
Torn meniscus in his knee.
It's a second torn meniscus. So he tore his meniscus last year, and which is tough because he was the best player in baseball. I mean, before Ohtani, him and Ohtani were on the same team, which is crazy,
which
and
is
still
ridiculous.
Suck. Yeah. But yeah, that's tough. Tough news for a likable baseball player.
Yeah. What do we got next, dog?
All right, jumping into the question of the week.
Question of the week.
We're gonna be hitting hard on fantasy football coming up in the upcoming weeks. It's the preseason for NFL football. It's also the preseason for us.
23 days. 23 days.
We got to get back to understanding numbers and who's going to be good and everything. So, figured we kick it off kind of with an easy category. We're going to be ranking the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks going into 2024. So
I have a couple sleeper picks in there too.
Yeah, I'll jump in and just kind of get started. And my number one position, this is kind of a love him, hate him kind of guy. Polarizing. The whole team is kind of polarizing as well. I'm gonna go Jalen Hurts is gonna be the number one quarterback going into the.
Woo!
I think his passing with the weapons that he has, the offensive line he has, the
Saquon.
new running back that he has, mixed with his running and being able to score running touchdowns. I think he's unmatched at being the top fantasy quarterback, barring any injuries or anything like that. I think number two, I got Josh Allen. Josh Allen is going to have to be the stud out there because they don't really have anything else. I think he's going to throw for a ton, run for a ton.
Yeah. He's
Josh
that entire
Allen,
team's offense.
yeah, Josh Allen's an easy pick at number two. At number three, I got Patty Mahomes. Pretty self-explanatory. The guy does it every single year. There's no slowing down for him. There's no.
And it doesn't matter who his receivers are.
Yeah, he brings in receivers.
He's gonna go nuts.
He gets receivers that run people off the road and kill people. I mean, he's done. And number four, I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP.
Yep.
He's just gonna continue to dominate with the run in the pass game. I hope that he has a bad year, just for the sake of the Browns, but he's pretty consistent. So I think he's number four. You can generally get Lamar pretty late in drafts too,
Which is
like
super weird.
yeah, you can usually get these top three guys and then wait a little bit and get Lamar. So keep an eye out for that. That I always, go with the wait for a quarterback because these guys usually throw up the same numbers. These top three guys are a step above them. At number five, I have CJ Stroud. CJ, OH. He's got weapons, dude. Tank Dell, you brought in Stephon Diggs, you brought in Joe Mixon.
Great coach too.
It's crazy. Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, decent offensive line. CJ, I just hope he does well.
He's destined to have a good season.
Yeah, probably my favorite Ohio State quarterback of all time. I liked him more than Justin Fields. I mean, he's just probably one of my favorite players to come out of Ohio State.
He's a star.
Number six, I don't think Tit's going to like this pick. I don't think a lot of other people will like this pick, but I think it's bounce back year for Kyler Murray. And I think he's going to be running, got a new coach. I think he's going to be hitting Marvin Harrison, some of his other weapons. I think Kyler's going to come in at six, just like he did like 3 years ago, where he had a really good year and he was just firing on all cylinders. He's obviously the starter and he gets paid a lot out there because people believe in him. If he didn't have talent, he'd be kicked off the team.
He's 4 feet tall, Doug.
Especially with the new coaching regime, I think Kyler's going to be number six quarterback this year.
I respect it.
I think he's going to be a steal in a lot of drafts too. And number seven, I have Jordan Love. Another kind of reach pick, but I think, Jordan Love's going to put up numbers. If he's anything like we just saw at the end of his run, this dude just throws absolute darts all over the field. He's Aaron Rodgers.
Fearless, man. He's fearless.
Yeah, he's Aaron Rodgers 2.0. Learned a lot from him. I think he's going to dominate. Just pick up where Aaron Rodgers left off. And number eight, Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson was dominating in fantasy before he got hurt. He can do it with his legs. He can do it with his arm.
That team definitely has the offensive line.
Yeah, he's got the offensive line. He's got weapons on the outside. He's got a running back in Jonathan Taylor. He can get some stuff done, and if he stays healthy, he can be a top 10 fantasy quarterback in the league. At number nine, I want to puke just putting this in here, but I'm also going to be realistic, and I think Dak Prescott is number nine. That team is in shambles still. CeeDee Lamb's holding out. They lost all running backs.
They got Zeke back.
And they got old Zeke back.
Fucking fat old Zeke.
Yeah, I think they're in trouble.
They're not. They're on the decline for sure.
That means they're going to be throwing more. That means Dak's going to eat up a ton of yards. I think he's going to be top 10 fantasy quarterback. And then at number 10, I'm going to throw Joe Burrow in there. I think Joe Burrow Still has the weapons. Still got Jamar Chase, who's growing. He's healthy.
They just have
He's coming
crazy
back.
weapons on that team. It's
He-
gross.
He's come back from a couple injuries, and I think he's going to be number 10 on this list.
Yeah, I think it's a good list. You have 3 guys on your list that weren't in my top 10.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, Anthony Richardson, and Dak. I
Yeah.
have those guys just outside of the top 10. So I'm going to get started on my list, which is the superior list, because it's going to be 100% accurate to the standings after the season's over. So at number 1, I have Josh Allen. And much like Dan said, that guy's going to have to literally do it all. Like, that team is a playoff team. They have a good defense. They actually still have decent weapons on that team. But Josh Allen's going to absolutely have to carry it. He's going to have to throw 4 touchdowns a game. He's going to have to rush for 2. And they work him like a dog. So just because of those things and those factors, he's going to get so much opportunity. I think he's easily the number 1 fantasy quarterback this year. Number 2 is Patrick Mahomes. He's Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't even need to explain that one. He's absolutely unstoppable. He can make any receiver good. It doesn't matter. He runs, he throws. He has Travis Kelce. He's going to throw like 50 touchdowns. He's Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, and this is interesting because you have Jalen Hurts at number 1. I'm already on number 3, and I don't have Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Number 3, I have Lamar Jackson. Last year's MVP. His team is absolutely ridiculous. They're loaded top to bottom, and they actually got better, adding Derrick Henry, and they drafted another young wide receiver that's supposed to help out Lamar. So, I mean, you take an MVP quarterback and you make his team better, he's only going to get better. So, I have Lamar at number 3. Number 4, so this is where our lists really separate because the first 3, we're kind of in the same ballpark here. Number 4 is where we completely derail between the two of us. I have Joe Burrow. So you have him at number 10. I have him at number 4. I think that the division they're in is super competitive. And I think they're going to be playing as hard as they can this year to try to win that division. I don't think they're going to. I think the Ravens are going to win. But I think Joe Burrow is going to have a hell of a year. They have, ridiculous weapons on that team. I know they lost their running back, but that's almost more of an excuse to have him have a better year for throwing. So I see Joe Burrow.
That's a tough pick. I think he barely squeaks into the top 10.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I think the defenses are so good in that division, and he's never been I'm going to throw for 350 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's I'm going to throw for 250, 3 touchdowns, and I'm going to make the throws when they matter. So that's my take.
I agree with that in the past, but like I said, I think this year is going to be a little bit more of a competitive year. They're going to be struggling to stay alive in that division. And so I just have a feeling that Cincinnati's going to come out strong this year, and it's going to be led by their offense. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games, though. I think they're probably going to get like 3rd in that division, but they're going to be slinging it. Number 5, I matched Dan with this one. We both have CJ Stroud. The Texans are going to be absolute animals this year. That team is loaded top to bottom, and he's a super good young quarterback. Number 6, I have Jordan Love. So I have him one spot above Dan, actually. And like we both talked about, he's good. He's Aaron Rodgers 2.0, basically. He's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to throw the ball. But I think that team did get a little bit better. So we'll see. I could be wrong on that pick. I was a little skeptical of putting him at 6, but I'm going to give it to him. Number 7, dude, this is where we get crazy. I have his predecessor, Aaron Rodgers on the Jets.
Wow. Comeback season.
Hey, Aaron. So the Jets, I think, are an absolute stacked team. I think they would have made the playoffs last year if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. He's fully healthy now. He's ready to get planted back on that team, and we've seen what he can do with shit teams in the past. So put him on a good team. Dude's lights out. So I think he's going to squeak into the top 10. I'm going to put him at 7.
40 years old.
At 40 years old, just because he's Aaron Rodgers. Number 8, a little bit of a homer pick here. Got your boy Brock.
Big cock Brock.
Big cock Brock. And Brock Purdy is kind of like, I guess there's not other quarterbacks on this list like him. He's probably the least talented on this list of the top 10. But the Niners are just lethal, dude. You have Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. Like, that guy could close his eyes and throw the ball, and he's going to throw a touchdown. So I think the Niners are just going to have a lethal offense like they always do. I think Brock Purdy is going to be rewarded from that a lot. And I also think he's going to be running the ball a lot this year. He beefed up a lot. He added like 20 pounds of muscle. And I have a feeling that Kyle Shanahan wants him to run more. So I think he's going to get a decent amount of rushing touchdowns this year also. So Brock Purdy, number 8. Number 9. This is where Dan had his number 1 pick. I got Jalen Hurts.
Wow.
Now hear me out. I think Jalen Hurts is good. I do think he's a little bit overrated. He's overhyped. But I think this team is going to transition more into a running game. They lost their center. They're not going to have as much time to just sit there with a clean pocket for half an hour like they had in the past. They lost their freaking all-star center. So I think they're going to be running the ball a little bit more this year. I don't know. They added Saquon Barkley. They lost their center. I just have a feeling they're going to try deferring the ball a little bit more. So I put Jalen Hurts at number 9, and I also hate that team.
They lost a 36-year-old aging center that.
But he was
retired.
A stud, dude. He was a beast.
Should have retired a year before that, but
like I don't think they're going to be able to do that tush push without him.
I think Lane Johnson is perfectly capable.
He's getting old too, though. I don't know, man. I think that O-line's not going to be the same without Jason calling the shots. The center is an important position. So I have him sliding down to number 9. He's still good. He's definitely top 10. That team is still pretty stacked. And then number 10, I'm going to go with the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, shit.
Chicago, Caleb Williams. And hear me out. This is why. I think Caleb Williams is more talented than I'm blanking. What's his nuts? That was on the team last year. He's on Pittsburgh now.
Oh, Russell Wilson?
No.
Justin Fields?
Justin Fields. Yes, thank you. I think Caleb Williams is more talented than Justin Fields. And that Chicago Bears team only got better. And when Fields was on the team, he was like a top 10 quarterback. That team likes their quarterbacks to sling it. So I have a feeling Caleb Williams is going to come in this year. He's already got some talented wide receivers on that team. They have some really good running backs on that team also. I think they're an offense-heavy team. They have no defense at all. But, yeah, I think Caleb Williams, man, I think he's going to sneak into that top 10 this year. He's going to be a sneaky pick.
He's just got to hope that his offensive line blocks for him. Because what he did really bad at USC was when he tried to extend plays.
Yeah.
And he would just do dumb shit and launch it. And, he's trying to keep the, team
Keep
in
the game alive, yeah.
Yeah. But that receiving core, and you added DeAndre Swift, you got Keenan Allen, and you drafted Rome Odunze.
Yeah, they have weapons. Yeah, he has a ton of weapons.
Shit. Yeah.
So, like I said, the team got better since Justin Fields, and I think Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields. So, if Fields can get top 10, I think Caleb Williams can sneak in there. So I'm putting him at that number 10 spot because fuck Dak Prescott.
Nice. We'll see where everything lands. A couple notable people left off that I saw. Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall pick, I think.
Yeah, to the Washington.
Is on the list and rated pretty high. Jared Goff, Mr. $53 million Tua is on this list. Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert would be a sneaky sneaky pick. They just don't have any wide receivers. Deshaun and Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That all are, kind of viable people that can sneak in the top 10.
Yeah, I would say my honorable mentions would be Trevor Lawrence. Man, after that, I don't know. I think Trevor Lawrence and then Justin Herbert are probably easily the next two on that list. After that, it's like basically a tie. You got Goff, like you said. And I'm going to go with Herbert and fuck, I'm blanking.
Kirk usually gets it done. I mean, he usually has big years. I mean, he's been lucky to have Justin Jefferson the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But he
I don't know if Atlanta's going to be the spot, man.
No, he's got Drake London over there. He's got Kyle Pitts.
That's true.
He got some weapons.
Yeah, I guess this year we'll really get to show, was Minnesota good because of Kirk or was Kirk good because of Minnesota?
Yeah.
So it'll be an interesting year for him for sure.
Yeah. So that'll do it for episode 6 of Bout That Action. Tune in every week or every other week until football season starts. Check us out. Check out our TikTok shorts, YouTube shorts. Try to make some golf videos and check us out on podcast channels.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
All right. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.